Hello and welcome to a video about cell division. In this one we're going to look at meiosis, but just before we do that I'm going to do a quick recap of mitosis that we looked at in a previous video. So this is mitosis, and we're doing this just for the sake of comparison, but we said mitosis happens in body cells, and that's to produce cells other than sex cells, which are the sperm cells and egg cells. And very briefly, what happens is we have a starting off point as a cell which has a double set of chromosomes. It's a double set of chromosomes, and we say it's got a double set because each one of these cells has a set from the father and a set from the mother. So we say it's got a double set, and in humans it's actually 46, so the double set adds up to 46. We then get cell dividing after copying some of its DNA, or copying all of its DNA, and then we end up with two daughter cells, or two new cells. Each has 46 chromosomes. Okay, so each cell that's produced by mitosis will have the double set of chromosomes, which is the same as the parent cell. Now with meiosis it's slightly different. What happens is we have more cells produced with slightly less number of chromosomes, and we'll look at that in a moment. But firstly, for meiosis happening in females, it happens in the ovaries, and for males it's in the testes. And I've just highlighted that with these red circles here, but basically we start off with a cell that has the double set, and in this case for humans it's 46. The cell will then divide twice and it will produce 4 new cells. So 4 cells are produced, and each has a single set. Each has a single set of chromosomes, so the double set is 46, so the single set here would be 23 for each one. So what we've done is we've halved that double set in order to reach 23. Now the maths of it might seem strange, 46 going into 4 23s, but you have to remember that the DNA is copied in between the steps here, so we do have an increase in the amount of DNA in order to allow for 23 in each of those 4 cells. Similarly with males, the way it happens is the same, but it happens in the testes, of course, and we don't produce egg cells. These are all egg cells. We produce sperm cells. So again, each one of these has a single set of chromosomes, which is 23. Okay, so we have these cells that are produced, and remember they're called the gametes. Important key word. Gametes just means sex cells, it means egg, sperm, and in plants it's pollen as well. But this is the overall process. We have a double set of chromosomes, 2 divisions, and then we end up with 4 cells, each with a single set of chromosomes. Now we're going to look at some slightly more detail for meiosis, and this is required for the higher tier. If you're not doing the higher tier, please feel free to skip forward. There are 2 more slides that cover the foundation tier, but for now, if you're doing the higher tier, this is quite important. Now I've chosen a cell that has 4 chromosomes, so the double set here is actually 4 chromosomes, so you can see 2 long, 2 short. Now in terms of what happens with meiosis, we have to have a copying of the DNA, so all this genetic information in the chromosomes is copied, so you can see that each one of these has doubled up. So we've got 2 of those long ones there, 2 of those long ones there, 2 of the shorter, 2 of the shorter, and that's in order to provide enough DNA for all the new cells. So we've doubled up the amount of genetic information, doubled up the chromosomes, and then we have the first division. So the cell divides for the first time. We have a set of long and a set of short in each cell there, and then we have the second division, and in the second division each pair of long and short are split up. So you can see that in these cells here we have a single set, and the single set for each of these is 2. Okay, so you can see how we start off with a double set of 4, as a result of 2 divisions and some copying of the DNA, we end up with 4 cells, each with a single set of chromosomes. So the first division is here. And the second, that's my numbers, second division is here. And this is really just to give you an idea of how the chromosomes divide up. But the key points for this are that we have copies of the genetic information made, then we get 2 divisions, and that forms 4 gametes, each with a single set of chromosomes. This is slightly more detail than you do need to know. The specification does say that you don't need to know the individual steps or remember the individual steps, but I think it's probably quite important just to realize how the chromosomes are divided up. But you won't be, of course, required to memorize this. Now, the next thing I want to go through is just a quick comparison of mitosis and meiosis. We said that in mitosis, this happens in body cells. The double set of chromosomes for humans, anyway, is 46. The daughter cells, or the new cells that are produced, each has 46 chromosomes. This is for growth and repair, and there is only 1 division that happens. With meiosis, we have, again, we start off with 46 as a double set of chromosomes. This happens in order to produce gametes. It happens in the testes and the ovaries. We have 2 divisions, so there's the first and there's the second, and each of the cells produced each has a single set. So for humans it's 23. And remember that while this doesn't seem to add up, remember there is a copying of the genetic material over here in this between the first stage that allows enough DNA for each of those. And we said this happens to produce gametes, which are the sperm cells and the egg cells. There are 2 divisions, 4 cells produced, and each has a single set. So that's a comparison of the 2, and you might see diagrams like this that you might have to fill in the numbers for. And the last thing I want to go through really is just what happens after these sperm cells and egg cells are produced. This is a link into the next video, but we have female and male there. You can imagine that during reproduction we have the fusion of the sperm cell and the egg cell. So the egg cell and the sperm cell will meet, and remember the egg cell has 23 chromosomes, the sperm cell has 23, so that we end up with the double set of chromosomes, half coming from each parent. So we had the 46 chromosomes. We then, after that, see the cell start to divide. We have, sorry, this is the what we call the zygote. So this is where the 2 sets of chromosomes have mixed. That cell will then start to divide and divide further. So from this point onwards, we have mitosis, which will allow for the growth of the baby, and some 9 months or so later all the cells will differentiate, become the kinds of cells they need to produce an individual baby. So that's an overview of meiosis and why it happens and where it happens, and you should be able to just identify the basic stages, and you should be able to compare meiosis with mitosis. And just a quick final point, remember that the website my-gcsescience.com has all these videos listed in order so that you can structure your learning, and you can also get a set of notes which you can scribble on if you want to as you're watching the videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.